My parents asked me to give up my house savings to support my sister because she is pregnant and cannot take responsibility for her own life. Story 1. So, this is kinda long, but I need some outside opinions because my family is literally losing their minds at me right now. Okay, so I, 28-year-old male, have a younger sister, Kelly, 26-year-old female. We used to be close when we were kids, but everything went sideways when I got into college. Kelly has always been, how do I put this? Spoiled. My parents always favored her because she was the baby of the family and had a rough time in school. She was the golden child, and I was the one who was just expected to be independent and take care of myself. When I got into college, I worked part-time jobs to pay for my expenses while juggling a full-time course load. Meanwhile, Kelly was getting handed new iPhones and vacations paid for by my parents every year. I didn't complain because, hey, that's just how it is sometimes. Fast forward a few years, I graduated, got a decent job in IT, and was saving up to buy my first home. I was proud of myself, honestly. Then came the bombshell. Kelly got pregnant with her then boyfriend, now ex, because of course he bailed. My parents were freaking out because they didn't want her to ruin her future, and guess who they turned to for help? Yep, me. They basically told me I needed to give Kelly the money I'd saved up for my house so she could get back on her feet. Mind you, Kelly and I were not even on good terms at the time because she thought I was boring and judgy for not partying like she did. I refused. Like, why should I give up my hard-earned savings because she made bad choices? My parents called me selfish and heartless, but I stood my ground. Eventually they mortgaged their own house to help her out, and I thought that was the end of it. Well, fast forward to last month. I finally bought my dream house, a cute little place with a yard. I invited my family over for a small housewarming BBQ. Kelly showed up late, barely said 2 words to me, and then started complaining about how unfair it was that I had a house while she was stuck in a crappy apartment. Here's the kicker. 2 days later, I found out from a mutual friend that Kelly told everyone at the BBQ that I only have the house because I stole inheritance money from her. WTF? There is no inheritance. My parents are still alive, for crying out loud. I confronted her and she just smirked and said, well, maybe you should have helped me when I needed it. I lost it. I told her she was toxic, selfish, and that I was done with her. Now here's where the current drama kicks in. Kelly's babysitter just quit, and my parents are begging me to help out with watching her kid. They said, family sticks together, and that I need to be the bigger person. I told them no. Now the whole family is blowing up my phone, calling me a jerk, saying I'm punishing an innocent child because of my issues with Kelly. But like, this isn't my responsibility, right? I work full-time and have my own life. So, Ada for refusing to help after everything she did to me? Relevant comments. Commenter. She could have avoided all this by taking responsibility for her own mess. You owe her nothing, especially after the garbage she pulled. Let your family whine, they can deal with her now, yes, NTA. Your sister is selfish and manipulative. It's not your responsibility to take care of her child. Exactly. Actions have consequences, and it's not OP's job to clean up after her bad decisions. Funny how family sticks together always seems to mean you sacrifice while everyone else gets a free pass. I agree with you 100%. Your family can whine all they want, but at the end of the day, you don't owe her anything after what she did. If she's been causing drama, let the family deal with it. You've done enough. Exactly. I'd have responded to every MSG with a bunch of laughing emojis to drive the point home, but I'm kinda petty. Wait till Kelly eats into their retirement funds, and they come begging OP for help. I lived that. I'm the oldest and only girl with 2 younger brothers. I'm 63, and the misogyny was horrid. I ended up pregnant and married at 19, with 4 by 26. My husband and I worked our butts off, raised 4 successful daughters, and are close to a comfortable retirement. The second oldest is estranged from most of his kids, is always in financial hot water, and has a stalking charge to his name. The youngest still lives at home with my mother and his convicted felon wife while raising at least one of his grandkids. God knows how they got custody. While 2 of his kids want nothing to do with him. I was hit up multiple times for money, but I finally cut my mom and youngest of them out of my life 15 years ago. The other brother maybe 8 years ago. My dad, when he was alive, always said how hard the boys had it and I lost it on him. I find it hysterical that the only successful child was the daughter who was treated as a second-class citizen. Commenter. Family helps family after all. How could a grandparent be so heartless as to refuse to babysit their golden child's golden grandchild? This. Kelly stopped being my family the moment she spread lies about me stealing from her. While Kelly is incredibly spoiled and entitled, Kelly is also an adult, and Kelly is capable and should figure out her own life, including how to properly care for her child. And Mom, Dad, if you do not want to be stuck raising your grandchild, it's high time you stop enabling her poor choices. If Kelly cannot appropriately care for her child, it's time for baby daddy to step up. Absolutely, NTA. You're responsible for your actions. These are not your actions. NTA. Kelly is the one who needs to learn responsibility and how to take care of her own child. Don't let your family guilt trip you into enabling her entitled behavior any longer. You deserve to enjoy your new home without any toxic drama. NTA. Kelly needs to take her baby daddy to court for paternity and child support. Neither she nor her child is your issue, NTA. Would it be possible to go low no contact with your family? I'm sorry you have to deal with this, OP. Congrats on getting your first home. That's quite the achievement. NTA. Once again, as with nearly all these posts using this template, the answer is at the bottom. Now the whole family is blowing up my phone, calling me a jerk, saying I'm punishing an innocent child because of my issues with Kelly. Each and every person, blowing up your phone. Congrats, motherfuckers. You just volunteered to help take care of the kids. Problem solved. NTA. Kelly sounds like she's been riding the family favor wave for a while and now wants to act like you owe her something. Not your responsibility to bail her out, especially after how she's treated you. When Kelly told everyone you stole her inheritance, did your family stick by you? Yeah. What did they say when they found out about this? Kelly seems like a conniving witch and your parents are to blame for it. I'm surprised the parents don't know already since she allegedly told this. Sorry to everyone at the small BBQ the family was invited to. I would assume that the parents were around for that as well. I bet the babysitter didn't just quit, your sister chose a bad partner, wanted your hard-earned money, went vindictive, and lied about you being a thief. Don't take any responsibility for her life choices, NTA, at all. She's a spoiled, entitled golden child. Boundaries exist for a reason. She crossed yours, and now she's facing the consequences. You're absolutely NTA. Kelly's actions have been consistently entitled and disrespectful, and it's not your responsibility to clean up the messes she creates. Refusing to help isn't about punishing her child. It's about setting boundaries with someone who has shown zero respect for you or your efforts. You've worked hard to get where you are, and you have every right to protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. It's unfair for your family to expect you to repeatedly sacrifice for someone who hasn't demonstrated gratitude or accountability. Family doesn't mean being a doormat, and you're not obligated to solve problems that aren't yours. If your parents are so insistent, they can step up and figure out a solution just like they've done before. Stand firm, and don't let the guilt trip derail the life you've built for yourself. You deserve better than this toxic cycle. Story 2. Atia for wanting to disinvite my fiance's childhood girl best friend from attending our wedding for drunkenly confessing her love for him at my bachelorette party. I, 23-year-old female, and my fiance Elijah, 28-year-old male, are due to get married at the end of next month at our destination wedding. Last night was my bachelorette party, and I invited my closest family and friends to come along with a few of my fiance's family and his friend Kami, 27-year-old female. For some backstory, I and my fiance met when I was 19 years old. Both of our fathers are business partners and have been friends since I was in high school. One night his family invited mine over for a party being held at their home, and that was the first time we met. I was attracted to him, but I knew he was older, so I didn't believe I had a chance. As the night progressed, he was hanging outside in his backyard alone smoking, and my sister dared me to go talk to him. So I did. And a year later we began a relationship. My fiancé and Kami have been friends since they were kids, and their families are very close. She's always been extremely nice towards me and wanted to be best friends from the first time we met. I found it a bit odd, only because she barely knew me, but I didn't think much of it because she had been dating my fiancé's best friend Antonio, 28-year-old male. We didn't become best friends because I already have a close friend group, and I don't trust easily, but she's always been cool and never crossed any boundaries. Last summer my fiancé proposed to me on a trip to Belize. When the announcement was made, everyone sent their congratulatory praises to us, but Kami. She sent a text the next day, to my fiancé, only not our friend group chat, saying she was happy for him. She has been a bit standoffish to me since then, but again I never paid attention really because I have my own friends and life. About 6 months ago, Antonio and Cami broke up but never really stated the reason why. Just that they want to go back to being friends and be happy with other people. Fast forward to last night, my bachelorette was in a suite, at a popular hotel here in Miami, where I live. Planned by my older sister and Eli's sister Ava, 26-year-old female. The night was amazing and I truly had the time of my life. We all were getting wasted and I decided to go to the bathroom, and when I got closer, I heard voices and whimpering like someone was crying. It was then I heard Cami telling Ava that this should be her, and that she doesn't understand why he would want to be with someone like me, when it was always supposed to be them two together. That she always loved him. I sobered the hell up instantly. I might have to do a part 2, but guys, tell me, would I be the asshole for disinviting her from my wedding when it's a month away? Update. Wow. Thank you to everyone who has given me advice and reached out to me in my messages. You guys are amazing. For some clarification, I referred to Cami as my fiance's best friend. Because I didn't know what else to call her. Maybe a childhood friend? I don't know, but they have never gone out of their way to call each other that. But that's how I see them. Okay, now for the update. After I heard what was said, the old me started to revert back and I almost caused a scene. But I knew with my siblings, cousins and friends all being there it would get out of control, and I still wanted to enjoy my night. But I did continue to listen. Some of you were wondering what Ava had to say about all of this. After Ava was able to calm Cami down, she explained to her that this was not the time and place, and that Elijah would never forgive her if she ruined my bachelorette party. She also told her that she thinks that she should leave and get herself together. I was about to walk in now, at the same time they were walking out. I acted as if I didn't hear anything and asked if everything was okay. Cami just wiped her face looking down, stating that she wasn't feeling well and that she might have to cut the night short. I honestly didn't fight her on it and even walked her ass to the door because After she left, I pulled Ava to the side telling her that I heard everything. She apologized that I heard it and said that she would reach out to Eli to handle it, but I said no. Some of you also wanted to know why Cami said it should have been her. Did she and my ex have something going on before? I knew they hadn't but needed to be sure. So I asked if they had ever been together or dated. In response, Ava said not that she was aware of, only that their moms would always joke around when they were teens saying that they could finally be related once Eli and Cami get married. She said that never happened because Eli was never into her. Cami is a gorgeous girl, but my fiancé does have a certain type and it's not her. Respectfully. I wanted to ask more questions, but I thought I'd wait until I spoke with my fiancé for further answers. After that, I continued the party and even spoke with Eli quickly before bed. I posted on Reddit the next day after I'd gotten home before I did anything drastic. My fiancé came home later that evening, and once he settled in and relaxed, I told him everything that happened. To say that he was irate is taking it lightly. He was absolutely furious. I asked if there was ever anything between them that I was never told about. I asked if they had ever been intimate, and if she had ever confused her love for him before. He made it clear that there has never been anything but a friend's relationship in his eyes. He said that they had never had sex before but did kiss once back in high school playing bottle games with alcohol. But it was in a group and everyone kissed multiple people including Antonio. He said that she has never confessed her love for him and is confused because he's the one that played a role in Antonio and her dating. He wanted to call her right then and there, but I told him to calm down first because being upset would only make things worse. I want to say that my fiancé isn't mad that I heard it, or is trying to hide anything. He's upset because he feels hurt, and betrayed that she would do this to him and at my party, when we were all there to support me. My fiancé can get really protective of me at times. He doesn't like to hear anything negative. I did express to him that I feel uncomfortable with her going to our wedding now. I want people at our wedding who are genuinely happy and supportive of us. Tonight, he texted her saying that he needed to speak with her. She replied saying she would let him know when she's home. So we will see how tonight's conversation goes. He also invited Antonio over for dinner, and will speak to him about what's going on. Because things feel off. A lot of you were also questioning hers and Antonio relationship, and if she used him to make Eli jealous. So we will all be present when the conversation does happen, to see what she has to say for herself. Since Thanksgiving is in a few days, I will update you guys on how the conversation goes, and if anything new comes to light. Just give me some time to get through this holiday. Also, I have a wedding dress fitting tomorrow. I'm so excited. I might make a collage and show you guys my reference photos. XOXO Happy Holidays. Relevant comments. Commenter. Whatever happens, don't let it happen, and just be careful that this friend situation hurts the most beautiful moment of your life. You and your fiancé came from a long journey to get to this point, so enjoy and don't let her steal this from you. OP. Haha. Trust me, if this was even a year ago, this would have been a different story. I've always been an act first, think of the consequences later type of girl, but this is different. I'm not letting her ruin my happiest of moments. I'm glad Eli wants to confront her. Be ready for her to claim she was drunk and just joking. Would love to see the dress. You seem like a confident and smart woman, just enjoy your Thanksgiving and count the days to your wedding. Don't disinvite her, it'll just cause so much drama. Best to still be cordial to her but nothing more. Confidence is power. Nah. I think it would be unfair to uninvite Kami, purely because she hasn't caused any drama, or intentionally made things uncomfortable for you. She got drunk and privately asked someone she trusted to help her process her feelings. Kami is embedded in Eli's social group, so if you uninvite her, I think it would actually cause drama because everyone would want to know why. And she would have no chance to move on from her feelings privately. I am glad you had a conversation with your fiancé and that he has your back. It seems like it's probably a case of feelings being only on Kami's side, and that is honestly her problem. She needs to figure out how to deal with that. Commenter. You can't let her go to the wedding, and I will tell you why. You know that part when you are saying your vows, and then the priest says, if anyone knows of any reason these two shouldn't proceed, speak now or forever hold your peace. What if she speaks up and objects to your holy matrimony? I don't know how that all works, but it sure as hell would be embarrassing ASF. And good enough reason not to let her anywhere near your wedding. She sounds like a feral dumpster fire of a woman. Honestly, if you do ultimately decide to uninvite her, I think that you should reimburse her for the trip, since it is a destination wedding and only a month away, unless she is able to get a full refund. I know it'll be an added expense, but it'll be worth it not to have her there. I honestly think NAH. Poor girl has had feelings for him for a long time. It sucks for her that she's not his type, but, oh well. Plus, she left without making a scene at your Bach party. You're NTA for wanting to ensure peace at your wedding. He's NTA because he literally did nothing to make her think they would get married one day. LOL, update me. While things still seem to be progressing sensibly, don't take your eyes off the ball. There are way too many players here. Antonio, Ava, his parents, who may or may not have your back and who may or may not lie to your fiancé to turn him against you. Story 3. Eta for not letting my husband control the money in our house. My husband and I have been married for over a year and he knows what I make hourly. But I don't just hand money over to him. Backstory. 10 years ago, my kid's dad took control of my bank account and income, spent my savings and gave me an allowance of $50 a week from my check. This had to cover gas, groceries, and diapers. I gave birth to our second child a year and a half later, and would walk to the store so I would have gas for work. One day I had to make a decision on buying diapers for my oldest or my newborn. I cried in the diaper section because I couldn't believe my life had gotten to this point. I'll never forget the kind person who purchased the diapers for my children and gave me extra money to hide. When I had gotten home, I was belittled and accused of stealing money to buy so much. When I explained $50 a week for 4 of us including diapers wasn't enough, he told me to figure it out. I asked for $100 a week. Eventually I convinced him to allow me more money. 3 months later I left and swore I'd never allow another man to do that again. Present day 10 years later, my husband was fully aware that I came with about $18,000 in credit card debt. I've successfully paid almost all of it in full in 2 years. Made it possible by not having my own house, leech of an ex with 4 kids, and no utilities. I'm responsible for groceries for our family of 5, phone bill for us, and car insurance. I have my car payment and 1 credit card. My husband pays the utilities and house payment. We recently purchased a new to us camper, and he took a loan on it and put the money I got from my totaled camper in the bank, so he has that as well as his vehicle payment. He says I should be giving him $300 or more a month for savings and to help with the utilities, and I won't. If something happens to him, I can't access that account to pay bills, etc. I don't believe I'm on his account at all. I opened an account 5 months ago and have $250 a check placed into it for safekeeping. I also must get school supplies, kids' clothes, etc. His ex-wife and they split the cost 50-50 for their daughter. But my ex and I are not on those types of terms. My husband gets huffy that my situation isn't like his, but I told him it is what it is. Every pay period he will ask me for money for utilities and I brush it off or say if you buy groceries, sure. He says, I don't know how to save money and he should have what is left of my check each week for vacation, going to dinner, etc. I won't do it. The mere thought of having an allowance again terrifies me. Do I overspend some weeks? Yes, but I don't use a credit card to buy items anymore. I don't rob Peter to pay Paul like I did in 2020. I budget right down to coupons for groceries and what my grocery bill will be before I enter the store. He says I need to trust him and let him hold on to all of our money together, because his savings account is my savings account also. I just can't bring myself to do this unless I can have full access to the account as well. I don't see that being an option. He recently sold a vehicle and put $16,000 in the savings, and gave me $1,000 to spend on whatever I wanted to. So I put $200 in the bank, bought my kids each one Christmas gift early, at a friend's house so I don't hand it over now that we're on sale, and I paid $200 a piece per item. Ordered myself new glasses, $275, and contacts, $150. I wanted a hoodie for $20, and he said I gave you money, did you spend it already? I said kind of, he knew what I did with it. And he said he wasn't buying the hoodie because I'm irresponsible with money. And he should have never given me the $1,000, and asked for receipts on everything I bought. He knew I went to the eye doctor. He knew how much I paid, and he knew about the gifts I got now because I saved more than I spent on the Christmas gifts. He's been very pushy about just holding all the money that his friends are beginning to make comments about it. Telling me I need to pay when we go out for drinks, telling me I need to pull that debit card out and pay the tab. I probably have $10,000 in the bank. I leave the tip. I don't drink when we go out aside from water. Occasionally we'll have a sipper, but I won't risk a DUI. I tip because the bartenders are usually really good making sure my water is full all the time, and I never go without it. So I take care of them. Ada for not letting my husband have control of all the money? Edit. I want to be clear, the debt I acquired and had when we moved in together was from a past relationship, taking a huge pay cut, and COVID. During COVID, it killed my income. I hardly worked and was continuing looking for work while homeschooling both my kids. I robbed Peter to pay Paul, and my ex-boyfriend who lived with me didn't want to help with anything, and was a huge financial burden. I had to get that reeled in. Edit 2. Our incomes are similar currently. In January, I was put up for a promotion, and once my training is complete, my monthly income will be 1.5 more than his current monthly income. My current income base off his base pay, and not OT yearly, is about $6,000 a year difference annually, and can go up to $20,000 with OT. Edit 3. His bills amount to roughly $700 a month. House is $400, leaving $300 openly for gas, water, electric. Mine car insurance, $250 a month. It just changed again because he sold a vehicle and bought a different one. Last month, it was $337. Phone a little over $264.03, includes internet, groceries, which range weekly from $200 to $400 a week depending on produce, meat purchasing, etc. Which is a big reason why I haven't been helping with household bills. I also pay for all streaming services, which can be ridiculous too. Update. I took some of your suggestions previously, asked him to go to marriage counseling and he declined, because he didn't have any issues in our marriage except me. Suggested a joint bank account for bills and bills alone, and we have separate accounts for our savings. This argument was pretty much the end of our marriage for me. I opened my own savings account at a different bank than I currently banked through. I didn't have a debit card, and if I needed to pull money out, I had to physically go to the bank. I picked up side cleaning jobs for spending money so I wouldn't really touch either account I had. We went to a sporting event with our children. I have two, he has one from previous relationships. After the event, the kids wanted fast food, which was okay by me. It was late and I didn't want to cook. He asked me when we won the lottery and I told him I didn't feel like cooking, so it was fine, and handed him $20. 3 days later, I went to work. Apparently he had other decisions with that came the money in his account that he wanted me to put money into. I came home to the ugliest damn car in our driveway. He wasn't home, he was at the bar. So when he pulled into the driveway, I pretended to be sleeping so I wouldn't blow up that night on him. Since he had been drinking for 5 hours, I knew it wasn't the best idea anyway. He was mad at me when I woke up in the morning because I didn't say goodnight to him and was asleep by the time he got home. He said I don't have to worry because he was going to take a loan out on the car, to put the money back in his savings account. The same thing he did with the camper when I gave him money for it. Had I actually given him money to put in the savings account, it wasn't our money, it was his money. Financial decisions were his and his alone apparently. I started looking for an apartment when I got to work, and within 3 hours I was signing paperwork and getting a cashier's check for a security deposit. I told him the day before I was moving that I was leaving, and he asked me how I could do this without talking to him. I said, well, you bought a car without talking to me first, so I got an apartment without your permission. Filed for divorce on my birthday. I've been called a gold digger, accused of having an affair and being blamed for his financial problems he is currently in. The camper I practically paid for, and he decided to get a loan on it to have money in his savings account. He doesn't want any more and said, I have to pay for the cost of the loan to get it out from under him when I don't see why I should have to. Since I gave him cash, I don't have a trail on what it was for when I gave him the money, nor did he ever put it in the bank after I gave it to him. So if I want the camper, I don't really have a choice but to do it. He's asked for cash for the camper, and I literally laughed out loud at him and said, I did that once already and I'm not doing it again, and having to pay additional anymore. He calls me asking me for the truth, and if I was really cheating on him, and that caused for me to leave because I wasn't watering his garden. I told him marriages end for others things, and not just affairs. And told him to seek therapy, because he has a lot of unresolved issues from his previous marriages, if he assumes I cheated on him. I'm getting a divorce. After the divorce I'll be looking to purchase my own home, and having absolutely no contact with him. My children and I are thriving already in our little apartment, and I'm managing my money very well. He wanted someone to depend on him and need him. That just wasn't me. Relevant comments. Commenter, you're killing it. This is awesome and congratulations. If I could I would upvote your post 1,000,000 times. I'm so proud of you. He thought he had you locked in, and he was definitely planning to put you on an allowance, but you had his number and you showed him. If you're in the States, I encourage you to look into Habitat for Humanity in your state. They have homebuyer programs for first-time homeowners. Best of luck. He was definitely planning to put you on an allowance. An allowance, hey. He would have been buying the food when he was hungry. Not paying any bills, buying useless crap. And when they're on the verge of eviction, screaming at wife to fix this. How are you a gold digger in this situation? That doesn't make any sense, lol. NTA, your ex is a leech who thinks the world revolves around him. He took out a loan on a camper to put money back into his savings account. What kind of moron does that? He must be thicker than two planks nailed together. My husband, now ex-husband, had me put money into his personal account so we wouldn't get overdraft charges. I was so young and stupid. Buying a camper in cash, and then taking out a loan to get the money back is probably one of the dumbest ideas I've heard. Then to do it again for a car? OP. Right, it never made sense to me at all. Commenter. First, I'm so proud of you, OP. Having watched my mom growing up, I know being a woman is one of the hardest jobs in the world. You deserve a home for you and your kids and happiness. When the time is right and if you want, I hope you find a partner in life that uplifts and supports you. Oh, it wasn't that he wanted someone to depend on him. He wanted someone to fund his lifestyle. That's why he was nickel and diming you. But financing cars and campers after you already gave him cash. He's big mad that he's financially stupid, and doesn't have your money to fall back on. Good for you. Men just want to leech off women. My poor mum has just had to start all over again at the age of 64, and all my dad misses is having control over her money, and having to pay his bills all by himself and do all his own housework. Women these days are literally better off alone. Men just want bang maids. I am so proud of you. I would be so proud to call you my mother. Your kids have a great role model. As a man, I cannot imagine being so involved in a woman's finances. Maybe because I'm too lazy or uninterested. But why bother? Unless you share finances, why are you worried about the other person's spending? It's all a matter of control and patriarchal masculinity. You are so strong and tough, OP. I wish you nothing but the best. You didn't just marry him. You became his financial babysitter. And you're thriving now? Good for you. Sounds like he's the one who needs help. He wanted someone to depend on him and need him. He wanted someone to believe that, while he exploited them. Excellent update. Good for you. I legitimately can't understand people that want their partner to be dependent on them in this manner. Like, it's so much nicer to feel confident that your partner can take care of themselves. It doesn't mean you can't do nice things or support them through hard times. I like knowing I can support my partner if I need to, like she's currently out of work with an injury that is not going to get better, so I am paying a majority of the bills while she recovers and reskills to go back to work in a new industry. But I also love seeing her meet her goals and thrive independently when she's capable, and knowing we both have the resources to contribute in an emergency. I can't imagine wanting to handicap the person you love like this. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest ones. Have a great day.